2006. With me is Chris. He's an associate producer on Marvel Ultimate Alliance. What can you tell me about this game?
Marvel Ultimate Alliance is an exciting fall title for us. It's a launch title on the PlayStation 3 and the Nintendo Wii. Basically, the history of the game is Marvel said that we could make a game about anybody in the entire Marvel Universe. So what we've come up with is a game that has 140 different characters. I think the biggest challenge is all their different costumes. You know, we have 140 characters, 20 playable. All of them have different outfits from the comic timelines, and we really want to allow fans to play these characters the way that they remember them. So really 140 is like 140 times 4 because there's all the different outfits, and so the artists at Raven have just been working overtime. You know, really making sure all the costumes are like correct with the comics, and B, look awesome too.
Now, obviously, the Comic-Con audience is the audience that you guys are targeting. What has the response been so far?
Well, the response at Comic-Con is pretty overwhelming. A lot of times when we showed the game off to the gaming press, everyone's really critiquing the graphics, and we get a lot of positive feedback, obviously. But here, it's like, you know, people's life dream to be able to create their own custom Marvel team from anybody and take it and determine the fate of the Marvel Universe. It's like the ultimate comic concept. Working with Marvel comic games is always a really exciting opportunity from a game development perspective. We always want to really bridge all the comic content, but also make it in a way that's really exciting for gamers. And for us on Marvel Ultimate Alliance, we figured that everybody wants to play superhero games to really be a superhero and experience what it's like to have all the exciting powers. Every level, there's just tons of carnage and destruction. It's really exciting, and visually, with all the things breaking and all the real-time shadows, it's just a really amazing experience. At Comic-Con, we're revealing Human Torch and Iceman. They both are like really, I guess you could say, elemental. Human Torch can throw fire around the environment, and Iceman all this snow and ice. And seeing these effects in the next gen and represented with things like high dynamic range lighting and all these different shaders, it's really impressive and really amazing. It definitely pulls people into the game. Marvel Ultimate Alliance has an incredible amount of customization. It's an RPG at heart, and for this game we really focused on allowing players to create their own Marvel team. From the very beginning, players are going to be able to choose from either classic Marvel teams or create their own. Personally, I like to play with Spider-Man, Captain America, Wolverine, and Ghost Rider, which, if you know about the comics, isn't really like a Marvel Comics traditional team. When you play with these teams, though, you're actually able to customize the team by naming the team and picking a team icon, upgrading team stats, unlocking team powers. You can even dress the guys in your team by unlocking all the different costumes. That's just like one example of the customization in the game. Obviously, on like an individual character basis, you're unlocking new powers all the time and allocating your stats the way that you want to. So, I mean, really between the characters and the team and all the different ways that you can play the game, it has endless customization. The story of Marvel Ultimate Alliance is really exciting. Basically, the way that it works is Dr. Doom, an iconic Marvel villain, has reassembled the Masters of Evil. In our game, it's this epic lineup of villains that you're going to see in all the different areas of the game. And gamers are going to have the ability to choose their team and take on Dr. Doom and his forces throughout the entire storyline. I can't give away too many of the finer plot points. There's a lot of exciting choices that the player have to make. Maybe some iconic heroes are going to die along the way. But basically the deal is that you get to determine the fate of the Marvel Universe as you face off against Dr. Doom and the Masters of Evil. Throughout the game, you can go on different missions, you can do them in different orders, and even within the missions, you can make different choices. One of the ones that we've revealed about the game so far is in the very beginning of the game, players have to choose whether or not to save a guy named Namor and the entire city of Atlantis. I think that most of the time when I play the game, I take the good guy route and always save Atlantis, but I mean, the choice isn't as simple as just saving the city. There's a lot else going on in the plot, and so you can either save the city or let it be destroyed. This change, or this choice rather, is reflected throughout the entire storyline, and there's similar choices populated through all the 5 acts. I mean, it's a very long game, so there's obviously a lot of opportunity to do this, and depending on the choices the player makes, the outcome of the game is always going to be really different. We're really excited. We have these things called epilogue cutscenes, which tie the game back together in the end. When you finish the game, it retells the choices you've made, the decisions you've made, the people you've taken on your team. And the epilogue cutscene is always going to be unique depending on your different choices and the people that you have on your team. We've definitely spent a lot of time on Marvel Ultimate Alliance really tweaking out the fighting. Fundamentally speaking, it's like putting a fighting game mechanic into an action RPG. So all the characters have all the different combos and special powers and energy consumption kind of deal that you would see in a really deep fighting game mechanic. The really exciting part about it, though, is how the teams work together. So if you choose a team of 4 guys, or girls. They all have different abilities, and some work better or worse together, and it's really about balancing out your team. You always want to have a big bruiser guy like the Thing from the Fantastic Four, or even Wolverine, someone that can take a lot of damage, and it's also good to have people like Iceman or Human Torch that can do range damage, and like a well-balanced team is definitely a fine science putting together. Marvel Ultimate Alliance, one of the most significant parts of the game is the online gameplay. We're online on PS3, Xbox 360, PSP, Xbox PS2, and PC. We have 2 different online modes. One is just traditional co-op. You can play with up to 4 players through the entire game with voice chat. It's pretty cool. Maybe your best friend, who's also a Marvel fan, lives across the country. You guys can play together at night. One of the most exciting features of the game is competitive co-op mode. That's essentially playing cooperatively but being scored. So depending on who's doing the best on the team, it's all ranked. There's 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. It's been really exciting for us at Activision and at Raven, seeing who's actually the best at the game. I can confidently say that I am not the best at Marvel Ultimate Alliance, and that the Xbox test server leaderboards reflect that. So regretfully, I'm not the best, but it's a really exciting opportunity for people that like games to really get in there and master the combat, and also really see in real time who's the best and who has what achievements, and who essentially makes the biggest impact on the team online.